Our inspiration today is Yayoi Kusama. She is a Japanese artist. She's a contemporary artist. She works mostly with sculpture and installations. So these rooms are installations that she's made for people to walk through. She has pop art inspirations, and she does work all over the world. For our project today, we're going to look at her pumpkins. She does installations of pumpkins, and they're really, really interesting. So we're going to make our own Yayoi Kusama pumpkin today. All right, friends, we've just learned a little bit about Yayoi Kusama. Now we are going to make our Yayoi Kusama pumpkins. So there's a couple different ways you can do this, guys. You can draw your own pumpkin. That would be really fun. Or I also have these two papers on canvas for you to use as well. So you would have to print these off. So if you don't have a printer, this option wouldn't work for you. But if you'd like, you can use these as well. And this one, you'd have to work a lot smaller. But it kind of gives you the ideas of how to draw your pumpkin or what to draw in your pumpkin on the side. This one is just the blank pumpkin, but it's bigger, you know. It's kind of the same thing, it's just a little bit bigger than that one. I'm going to show you how to draw your own pumpkin. And I'll have this sheet on canvas as well. This is how to draw your own pumpkin. So I'll kind of leave that next to me while I'm drawing here so you guys can see it. But basically, we need to start with a big, almost kind of like square where the corners are kind of rounded. So I'm going to start with that shape. And you need to start with a pencil because this kind of requires you to erase some things as you go. So I'm drawing super, super lightly. You might not even be able to see it on the video. And I want mine to be long and tall, but you guys can also turn your paper and have like a fatter pumpkin, a short, fat pumpkin. I'm gonna have like a skinnier, taller pumpkin. And I'm kind of just lightly sketching it on there. Like I said, I'm not even sure you can see that very well on the video, but I've lightly sketched it on there. Then it asks for me to draw this center section of my pumpkin. And this will just kind of lay out where that little center section will go. Because pumpkins are kind of tricky to draw and actually make them look three-dimensional. They kind of look flat really fast if you don't know how to draw those curves. So this will be my center one. Now I can start to draw it a little thicker now that I know where it's going to go. And this, you can see it has a little curved part at the top to leave space for your stem. So I'm going to do that. Then I can draw my stem. And again, you can follow along with me, or you can open up the canvas and look at this little sheet. So break things down into simple shapes. Nothing is really all that hard if you just realize you can break it into simple shapes. So like this stem, I just drew curved line, and then a little oval on top, okay? Everything can be broken down really simply. Then up here, I can draw the next section for my pumpkin. And you can see they kind of make their curves get a little bit funky down here. So it kind of looks like a more realistic shape of a pumpkin and not so perfectly round. I like that, so I'm going to make sure I'm doing that as well. And then last but not least, I can add my outside. So you should technically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. And something that's kind of important, you can see it right here, there's kind of little bumps, like almost like a jumping line here at the bottom. It's not flat, right? That also kind of helps make it look dimensional. All right, so it looks kind of messy right now. I'm gonna grab my Sharpie and go over all those lines now. All right, now because I drew really sketchy and kind of messy, I'm gonna definitely make sure I go back and erase my pencil lines. So now we can set this aside, and I have several different papers to give you ideas for your center designs on your pumpkin. So remember, if you printed this one off, there's little designs over here on the side for your different sections, but I also have these papers, and they're different ones. So it tells you your center section and gives you different ideas, and then different ideas for your other sections as well. And of course you can mix and match. This one's kind of fun. If you have a dice at home, you can roll the dice. So this says the left side of your pumpkin, and you roll the dice. And if you get a 3, then you would color the left side of your pumpkin like this. And then for the middle of your pumpkin, you roll a 5, you would color it like this, right? So if you want, you can do it that way. This is just kind of a fun paper if you kind of want it to be random and leave it up to the dice. Or like I said, you can look at this one. And then this one also just has like some finished little pumpkin examples for you to look at. So you can see this one's just completely random and all mixed up. This one is symmetrical, which means they made it look the same on both sides, right? It's a mirror image, right? And then these went polka dot crazy. So you can decide. I'm gonna pull this paper back up and I'm gonna look at this one. I have lots of different markers here. I think I might use a combination of markers and crayons for this. So I'm gonna look at my little design here, and I'm going to pick one and draw it with my markers and make this super bright and colorful pumpkin. So here we go. Now again, you guys get to decide how you're gonna color these in, but make sure you're making these pumpkins super, super colorful and fun. And of course, if you want to make up your own designs, that would be really cool as well. Whoa, my pumpkin's looking crazy. Little eyeballs. Okay, so now that I've kind of colored it in with markers, I want to grab some crayons and color in those spaces in between. Now maybe you don't have markers and crayons. Ooh, maybe I'll do, yeah, no, crayons fine. Maybe you don't have markers and crayons, so maybe you might have to just use one supply, and that's totally fine as well. You know that I just really love for your spaces to be filled all the way in. I hate white spaces. I hate empty spaces. I'm loving my pumpkin. Now we just need to do our background. And there's so many cool things you can do with your background. So I have this paper that gives you some background ideas. So there's different ones on here. There's infinity nets is what we call these, where you make these kind of net looking things, or you can do, polka dots or those little, little worm looking things. So you get to decide what you're gonna do for your background. Now I haven't decided yet. What do I want to do? Do I want to do an infinity net? Do I want to do some fun polka dots? Maybe I'll do an infinity net. Okay, so I'm gonna draw my infinity net, and I have this little paper that shows me how to do one of my infinity nets. So I'm gonna follow along with this, and basically it just says make some weird triangles and then connect them together. And I'm just gonna fill up my background space with these. All right, so there's my infinity net. Now, I want to pick just like 2 or 3 colors maybe that I didn't use in my pumpkin for the rest of my background, because I don't want it to all look the same. I think just because I used like a lime green in my background, but it almost looks yellow. So I think here I just want to go over this space with like another color as well, just so it doesn't all look the same. Maybe I'll do a little bit of green on top. All right, there we go. My finished pumpkin. I think it looks so cool. It's so colorful. It's so bright. I love it. I can't wait to see how your pumpkins turn out.